So we're hitting organizational adoption of FinOps again, and we're moving to Chris from Anglepoint.
Hi, I'm Chris Johnson, Chief Product Officer at Anglepoint. Who's Anglepoint? Well, if you ask Gartner, they'll tell you we lead the software asset management managed services industry. In fact, they placed Anglepoint the furthest up and the furthest to the right in their Magic Quadrant every year for the last 3 years. And they've consistently ranked us #1 in every critical capabilities category, including for complete cloud software asset management for 3 years straight. So what does that mean? Well, you can think of us as the experts on driving down the cost of running third-party software in the cloud. Essentially, we're the geeks that know all the annoying licensing rules that differ across your multi-cloud, whether it's marketplace software or BYOL, PaaS, or with an IaaS affected by RPA, serverless, containers, you name it. I think everyone here understands it's impossible for a practitioner to stay up to the minute on all the ways that the likes of Oracle, IBM, Microsoft, SAP, VMware, dream up to extract money out of you, and they will extract money from you. But we're here to keep it to a minimum by restoring information symmetry to the cloud software supply chain so that you can accurately forecast the cost of licensing alongside your cloud consumption, so that your DevOps teams can make cloud architecture decisions that take the full cost of licensing into account, so that you don't end up paying premium rates for software or wasting money on licenses you don't need, and so that you can negotiate contracts from the position of strength that this knowledge gives you. How we do this starts with addressing the challenge of getting organizational adoption of FinOps. The key question being what needs to change within the organization so that we use cloud resources more effectively. Well, often the first thing that needs to change is the mindset of various organizational stakeholders. We have to harmonize the different worldviews of finance, IT, and the business. We bring these stakeholders together in a room to give them the Rosetta Stone of each other's language to adopt a common taxonomy depicted at a high level here in our visual take on the TBM model applied to FinOps. Now, we're not just licensing geeks, we're also data ninjas in our own right. So once a unified framework of understanding is in place, we dive into the data structures behind these organizational views. Here we really get into the weeds to make sure we map disparate data models so that, for example, cost centers align to CIs in the CMDB, align to asset IDs in the ITAM system, align to application IDs in the APM tables, aligned to service IDs in the ITSM tables, but ultimately aligned to business unit IDs and product IDs. You probably can attest yourself to the enormous amounts of organizational dysfunction that can result by simply not bridging the gaps in data in these organizational views. Without this common model, data and therefore decision-making remains in organizational silos. But once stakeholders have reliable information expressed in the terms and units they care about, I am pleased to report we have observed that when in possession of good data, humans can actually make good decisions that benefit the organization as a whole. And perhaps more importantly, a FinOps governance body can create a culture of accountability to do so. From there, we have to get the plumbing right. We have to do the hard remediation work to ensure the right integrations exist between the discovery and inventory systems, the ITAM system, the CMDBs, the APM system, the finance data lakes, et cetera, to make this data nirvana a reality. And finally, we're also governance and policy wonks. So while we've got these executive stakeholders locked in a room together for a couple of days, we also hammer out the FinOps decision and accountability structure, relationships and processes, and draft an implementation plan to achieve agreed upon business goals relevant to cloud. We call this exercise a cloud governance and FinOps workshop, which has proven to be quite effective in helping achieve the alignment necessary to realize the organizational adoption we all seek. Thank you.
Moving on to Philip.
Hi, everybody. I'm Philip Flesher, president of Exstratus, and we are a pure cloud FinOps services company. You can hit the next slide for me. Thank you. So our differentiator is that we've done this for almost a decade, and we don't do anything else. We don't build stuff in the cloud. We're not a generic systems integrator or like services firm. We don't sell tools and do services on the side. Like, this is it. So all we do is build staff and execute FinOps programs for our clients. And that we think that pure focus is pretty key. So most of our clients are in the high 7 figures, maybe into the low 8 figures to mid 8 figures of spending range, with a few clients kind of bumping up into the sort of 9-figure range. We've saved them millions of dollars kind of overall at pretty low risk with our program. So our calling card, and the thing that all of our clients will say about us, is that we're very rapid executors. So we push fast FinOps adoption principles within our clients' orgs and turn dollars really quickly to make momentum happen. We think that's kind of the important calling card of what we do. Hit next slide for me, please. And when it comes to the adoption of FinOps, we think that the main barrier, right, to getting going is this perceived risk of non-execution. And so we've developed a program that works to remove that major barrier that's made up of some sub-barriers, which I'll go through here in the next slide. So within this general category of like non-execution risk, there are three sub-barriers we see. The first one being not having quantifiable data on like how much money are we going to save and when are we going to save it, right? From a finance perspective, that's a key barrier. So hit next for me. Thank you. So we've developed basically a program to bring a complimentary assessment up front before any dollars get exchanged between us and the client, right? We're bringing a very clear, conservative, high confidence view to finance, saying, here's the ROI, here's what you can expect coming back. The next big barrier, hiring delays, right? So if you're staffing, there's always the risk of a bad hire, there's risk of retention, and then there's tooling that team up. Next bit here, right? So we're bringing a fully equipped team day one, and we've proven the process over many companies, big and small, public companies, PE-owned companies, right? So we know how to execute this right off the bat. Next, thank you. And then lack of early momentum, right? So not having an early result to point to, dollars to point to right away, better reporting to point to, better forecasting. The solution here is that we are starting with sort of a stack ranked return on effort, right, of things to go do, including savings targets, right? So things we can save money on today versus tomorrow, we'll execute the things today if they're low effort, right, for the dollars involved. Or if the reporting visibility is very high for a low effort sort of activity. So we do this stack rank of return on effort to get very fast, high momentum for our clients. And that's it. If you're interested in learning more, I'm happy to talk to anybody about client opportunities or partner opportunities. I know we have a lot of partner possibilities in this room, so happy to talk with everybody.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Moving on to David from Softchoice.
Perfect. Thanks, Steve. Hi, everybody. My name is David Adelhano, and I'm representing I'm basically part of the FinOps consulting team at Softchoice. And just the next slide, please, Steve. Thank you. So basically, as a FinOps consulting team, we help our clients to adopt FinOps, or we help them mature their existing FinOps practice. So what you see in front of you here with our 6 service modules that we offer as a service to our clients. Our first module is our executive alignment module. Basically, what we do there, we help our clients create a cross-functional strategic alignment around those core FinOps principles. And we also help to define basically a shared vision of success for a FinOps program. We then proceed to do a FinOps maturity evaluation. Basically, this is where we assess your current capabilities against those FinOps best practices in order to identify those areas of focus where basically where additional effort is required to mature your FinOps practice. Our cloud cost optimization module is where we basically, what we do there, we identify those cost savings opportunities in order to be able to help you build an internal business case around to mature your FinOps. Basically to mature FinOps in your organization and help you promote the business case to adopt it. Our Catalyst workshops are focusing on basically, those are education focused workshops. Here we focus on helping educate different stakeholders in your organization. And also what we try to do here is to bring awareness and attention to the different personas that need to be part of a FinOps program in your organization. And the 5th module here is our strategic playbook module. Here we work with our clients around co-creating a strategy for a FinOps program. And we also help to define that RACI metrics and the decision criteria to basically to assign those roles and responsibilities to help you govern the program, basically to help govern and manage your program. And lastly, our program enablement module is where we basically create those action plans for your, in order to address those FinOps related challenges. And those are tactical action plans. And we use our MVP approach in order to help you, basically to promote the value of FinOps early on in the adoption process in order to prove the value of FinOps. So just the next slide, please, Steve. Thank you. So what you can see in front of you here is basically our engagement approach on the top and the outcomes we help our clients achieve on the bottom here. But our first work stream is our discovery phase, where we do a lot of those assessments, services we mentioned in the previous slide. we basically, our goal here is to identify those areas of focus, and where basically those areas of focus for us to focus throughout the engagement to lead and implement that organizational change. So in the second work stream, we focus on helping our clients implement that organizational change, and our delivery approach is focused on, and it's an outcome-based approach, focusing on realizing value and doing so on an iterative basis. So basically, first we start from instilling the people, process, and technology you need to kickstart a FinOps program, and we then move to building and scaling the FinOps program in order to drive that organizational change that FinOps requires. And by then, we basically our clients get to a position where FinOps is starting to get embedded as a culture within the organization, and that helps to accelerate the adoption of FinOps. By that point, they're in a position to start realizing some of those cost savings opportunities that FinOps provides, and they're able to reinvest it into their organization in order to drive those innovative benefits and drive to innovative benefits of the cloud. So some of the outcomes you see here is, basically, if you have more questions, those are the outcomes we help. And if you have more questions, feel free to reach out to finops@softchoice.com. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Now we're moving on to Enabling Automation Challenge and moving to Aditya from Cloudwiry.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, everybody, and maybe good evening as well. Some of the folks, thank you for having us. Why automate your rate optimization or your committed usage discount? That's what I want to kick off this conversation with. Rate optimization, automation is your fastest way to save some serious dollars very, very quickly. Time to value, the rate optimization can happen within a function of days. In addition to your immediate savings, you also can start planning to get savings for your seasonal workloads, for your last mile coverage. There's a variety of different savings that get unlocked through automating rate optimization that are not available and easily accessible without specialized knowledge and tool set behind it out of the box. So first and foremost, what's the super important thing to get through rate optimization is immediate savings, as well as planning for savings for seasonal workloads, last mile, and so on and so forth. In addition to savings, if you're optimizing your rate through automation, you also get hourly commitment flexibility in it. What do I mean by that? That why do people not get 100% coverage for 3 years across their workloads? Well, because there is always right sizing that might be happening in future, a variety of other things might be happening in future, where your consumption might reduce, finance is not accepting of the risk that is involved. By automating it with our tool set, you can actually reduce your coverage and your hourly commitment as your usage reduces. So getting immediate savings and then getting flexibility in your coverage, that gives you an very strong business case to work with your internal stakeholders to implement these savings. In addition to that, you get operational simplicity as well as financial planning for 3 to 5 years. So that's broadly why I'm a strong advocate for automating your committed usage discounts. We've been doing this since 2018 for our customers. Many tens of millions of dollars saved across all customer sizes. So what's our approach? First step is oftentimes when practitioners are looking at optimizing rate, they're looking at what do I do now? We take a little step back and say, this is what it looks like for the next 3 to 5 years for you. What is your trending looking like on consumption? How much flexibility do you want to build in to be able to reduce your committed usage, your hourly commitments, either in year 1 or year 2 or year 3, to build in a hedge. And then once that initial planning is in place, establish the guardrails to execute against it. And on a daily basis, the system is executing and getting you savings, making changes, increasing your coverage, reducing your coverage, creating 1 year savings or 3 year savings, wherever that's applicable. So a variety of operations happening in the behind the scenes that are maximizing your savings from there on out. And then finally validate the results through built-in dashboards as well as reporting that help you understand the ROI that you're getting by going through this process. So that's broadly speaking our approach. What about Azure, right? As we saw in the general section, Azure just came out with savings plans, really highly high bullet points. If you're using DV3 series or DSV3 series or these series, it would be really beneficial for you to at least understand the discount differentials that exist between savings plans and RIs. They can be very significant. As a quick example of a simple assessment that I've put down here, in some cases, you get significantly more discounts by having 1 year's reservations versus 3 years savings plans. So it can be that meaningfully different between the two. It's a fantastic instrument, complicated answer, but it's there. So I think my time's almost up, Steve. So maybe next. Yeah. Right. Okay. So get additional savings automatically through rate optimization. That leaves the hourly flexibility built in to allow you to do resource optimization. Just a quick pitch. We just don't do rate optimization. We also do resource optimization and cost visibility. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Moving on to Harness and Robin.
Yeah, thank you. Robin Elliott, glad to be here. Next slide, perfect. Harness is an end-to-end software delivery platform. We go all the way from build, deploy, through to management. Cloud Cost Management was actually the second product that we brought to market, so it has been around for a while. Next slide, please. So I'm here to talk about automation, and I'm going to concentrate on 3 particular capabilities. First one is cloud auto-stopping. This is the ability to stop resources that are idle in your non-production environments, essentially when people are not accessing them and using them. So we can detect various forms of idleness within these resources, and we'll quiesce those resources, but then we'll also determine that someone's trying to access those resources again, and we automatically restart them. This does allow you to onboard spot instances from a compute perspective. So you can have Harness manage any of the compute resources so that we'll get those spot savings, and we'll handle the interruptions. If that spot capacity goes away, we'll switch those resources back to on-demand automatically. And then when spot becomes available again, we'll actually fall back and pick up and start running those resources back on those spot instances. Next slide, please. We actually announced this together with AWS at reInvent. We were part of their Spot Ready program. So what we're offering here is spot orchestration of EKS clusters. So if you're an AWS customer, you're doing EKS, you should be interested in this. Essentially today, I come across very few customers that are actually using Spot in their production clusters. Obviously, we know why. Spot's not guaranteed. However, Harness has worked with AWS, and we brought this product to market where you can actually start introducing spot orchestration and usage as part of the compute pool behind EKS. This works with both short-lived non-production as well as long-lasting production workloads. We'll provision new spot instances when capacity demands it. If spot goes away, we'll actually fall back to on-demand, but then we'll also do that fallback again when spot becomes available again. We'll reintroduce those spot nodes within the cluster, and you can garner those 90+% savings. Next slide, please. Thank you. And then lastly, commitment orchestration. Essentially, if we look at the graphic on the chart here, we can actually see in blue at the bottom the saving plan coverage. The purple denotes, or the blue denotes where we're at with RIs, and then the gray would be the on-demand. Okay, so one, we provide visibility into how you're actually doing across your saving plans, your RI, and your on-demand usage. But then more importantly, you can actually configure Harness to manage the purchase of RIs to minimize your usage of the on-demand spend, okay? We'll effectively purchase those RIs for you, okay? So this is a fully automated system. We'll also be doing conversion of RIs, so convertible RIs. So where you've got erratic or on-demand type usage that you can't necessarily plan for, we'll actually automate the conversion of those convertible RIs to make sure that you're maximizing your savings in this environment. One thing I should have mentioned is both this capability here for AWS EC2, as well as the previous feature with regards to EKS and allowing spot nodes. we will be rolling out over the coming quarters for GCP and Azure as well. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll give half a minute back maybe.
Thank you very much. And we're moving on to ProsperOps and Eric.
All right, thanks, Steve. They say when you pitch a VC, you want to either go first or last because you tend to be more memorable. So hopefully that's the case here. Oops, looks like you guys are missing one slide. Just a bit about ProsperOps. We are a FinOps automation platform. By that, I mean that we automatically optimize cloud costs, and our service currently manages savings on greater than $750 million of annual AWS compute for customers of all sizes, including some of AWS's largest and most sophisticated customers. There's a slide missing here that basically talks about what we call the two FinOps universes. There's an engineering universe of resources where like your EC2 instances, your ECS clusters, your S3 objects live. And there is a financial universe where things like reserved instances and savings plans live. And if you read the Cloud FinOps book, you apply two different types of optimization to those two universes. To the engineering universe, you apply usage optimization, i.e. you try to use less stuff. And in the financial universe, you apply rate optimization, i.e. you try to pay less for the stuff that you use. And our provocation is that if you want to take an automation approach, you want to start with the financial universe, because if you automate the engineering universe, you end up either removing resources that you have commitments for, or you have the tail wagging the dog where you don't optimize and remove stuff because you have commitments. Conversely, if you optimize the financial universe first, you're free to automate and as much waste as you want. So our platform, as I mentioned, is an AIOps platform. It enables autonomous outcomes, i.e. we're not a recommendation engine. We don't just provide visibility or never-ending task list. We actually completely automate the financial universe. We do that through passively watching the engineering universe in real time. Every hour we checkpoint what your environment looks like. We build a picture of it. We run AI and optimization against that, figure out what the ideal commit discount portfolio looks like, and then we execute that. And we do that hour after hour, day after day. And it turns out that approach leads to superior outcomes over just an approach where you're using a recommendation tool. Next slide. Eric, how do you know that? Well, the great thing about FinOps is that it's wonderfully quantifiable. And so if you look on the right table there, you see the industry standard metrics. These come from the FinOps Foundation surveys in terms of what customers generally achieve. We've created a metric called the effective savings rate, which is basically kind of the ultimate rate optimization metric. It just shows you at the end of the day, how much are you saving off of your on-demand equivalent rates. On average, customers save about 20%. And through the ProsperOps platform net of our charge, we drive the effective savings rates above 40%. So if you're spending $1 million of on-demand equivalent compute and you would normally save 200, our platform will drive it to 400. How do we do that? Again, we watch your engineering universe, and as it's increasing and decreasing, we automatically can manipulate these commitments in very advanced ways that increase usage and decrease usage so that you're continually covered at 95+%. Last slide. So at the end of the day, it said you have to choose between time and money. With ProsperOps, you get to kind of have your cake and eat it too. We will put money back into your cloud budget net of our charge. So effectively, our company is writing you a check every month. We do that by also removing work from your plate to free you up to focus on the other activities that are involved in FinOps. We make your commitments more flexible, so we de-risk you, and ultimately we put you in the 98th to 99th percentile of all savers on AWS. So if you're interested, I'm on the FinOps Slack, or you can just hit us up on our website. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And then we're moving on to aligning finance with technology with Jay from Snow.
Thank you for joining. I'm with Snow Software. For those that don't know, we are a market leader in software asset management and also cloud management. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the personas that we see and we deal with and some of the use cases. It's been very interesting. Given we've been doing this for 25 years, we've come to see a lot of perspective of finance people, of IT asset management people, and how this is intersecting. We're seeing more and more interactions. We like to talk about the bridge between ITAM and finance with FinOps and the need for that bridge. That's an area that we're focused here as a software company. Let me give you some of the specific use cases that I think you might find interesting. For those that know Azure, Microsoft Azure, a lot of talk around Azure hybrid benefits or bring your own license. To maximize those kind of things, you need to know your software entitlements. And guess what? The ITAM and the FinOps people, and the finance teams know that. And they routinely use our software here at Snow to pull those entitlements and add value for the FinOps teams. Another example would be just understanding your total spend across your technology landscape, or even doing something like unit economics. We're seeing customers need to start looking at SaaS costs or software license costs, maybe software licenses running in containers on the cloud. And these hidden costs need to be factored in when you're thinking about proper cost allocation, when you're thinking about unit economics. And again, they use Snow software to give them that kind of visibility. Next slide, please. I'm going to try and go very quick. We talk a lot about technology intelligence here at Snow. It's about giving that visibility of your spend, your usage, and your cost savings opportunities across your estate. It's not just your cloud bill. For us, it's your software licenses. Again, it could be running in containers. It's your SaaS applications. All of that needs to be factored in again for some of the use cases I hit on the previous slide, and that's what Snow does. Next slide. A little bit of an eye chart. I'm not going to read this all to you, but just again, when you think about the value of other people who don't always have a seat at the FinOps table, especially in finance and ITAM, they have a lot of perspective, a lot of context that can drive a lot of value for FinOps teams. And we're seeing that play out as well. Next slide, please. We help people not just reduce money here at Snow, but also the visibility we give about usage and the assets people have give, benefit for risk and security, but also increase collaboration and efficiency. But for time's sake, let's keep going. I thought I'd end on one final use case, again, that we've seen quite a bit out there in our customers and in our FinOps teams we work with. Just answering the question, what do we spend on Microsoft? There are various people in an organization. The FinOps team is often involved because they may know what the Azure bill looks like, but to pull together the pieces of what you're spending on your licenses, both on-prem, on clients, on server, or your SaaS applications, your Office 365, your Azure bill, bringing all that together is difficult, but that's something that we do here at Snow, again, with our technology intelligence, is give that wider cost visibility and allocation capabilities, working very closely with the FinOps teams. So that was it. I'm Jay Litke. Sorry, I got pulled in from the wrong breakout room, but I'm glad I made it.
Thanks very much, Jay. It's great we found you. Once again, thank you very much to all the speakers today. We will be kind of like sharing these. Don't forget, everyone, take the State of FinOps survey. This is all feeds into kind of the community and all the working groups and all aspects of the foundation lean on this to build out their roadmap for the next year as well.
JR here from the FinOps Foundation. Thank you for watching. Please go to FinOps.org if you want to get plugged into this amazing community. And of course, hit subscribe right here on YouTube to get all the future content. Hope to see you soon.